Hi, how are you? How's
Hello.
everybody doing? Hi, Bonnie. This Facebook Live will last about 45 minutes, and we are going to talk about sacred leaders. Our special guest today is an American life coach and cancer survivor. If you want to find out more about our next Facebook Lives, I'm going to leave you the link in the chat box below so you can sign up. Most of the Facebook Lives are in Spanish, but we have some in English. And I want to remind you that my company, Excede tu Potencial, has the purpose of helping companies refocus positively their levels of stress so they can improve productivity, relationships, and results. And as a transformational coach, I also help successful professionals to release their inner mental jail built throughout life so they can find the balance and fulfillment they're looking for. Our special guest today is Bonnie McVee. She is life coach who is passionate about partnering with women entrepreneurs to build strong leadership by supporting them to use their own personal understanding of God, to have a bolder expression of who they are so they can lead from their soul, accessing more courage, passion, clarity, freedom, and humility. When Bonnie received a breast cancer diagnosis at the age of 45, she felt it was time to get right with the God of her own understanding. Today, Bonnie utilizes her life coaching experience as she inspires entrepreneurs to awaken to the power of having the God of their own understanding, support them in building thriving businesses aligned with who they are and who they know themselves to be in the eyes of God. So, Bonnie, it's a pleasure having you here today. I'm so excited that we're here. So, if you have some welcoming words for our audience, please feel free to say them.
Hi, everybody. I'm so excited to be here, Stephanie. Thank you for having me. I just love how technology can connect us from many, many miles away. And I'm just honored to be here with you today.
Thank you, Bunny. I'm so excited. This is going to be awesome. Many people were waiting for this Facebook Live, and we're really excited about it. So, I want to ask our audience, where are you watching us? Which parts of the world? It's amazing, like how we connect. We have people sometimes from Asia, from Europe, from South America, from the States. So it's very, very interesting. So we'll see. And I want to ask our audience the first question so we can introduce the topic for today. And the first question I have to the audience, if you want to share with us, how is your relationship with God today? Not 10 years ago, no, not 5 years ago, but today, because normally it evolves. So I would like to know how's your relationship. And while you answer this to us, Bonnie, I want to ask you, why is this work so important? The work that you do. Tell us about it, please.
Well, I think that this is so important because having that relationship with the God of your understanding allows you to be supported in a way that you're not if you don't have that. And it's really, I think, um, for me, knowing that I'm connected to something bigger and that I can surrender to that and receive support from that so that I don't have to be in control of everything um, is takes away worry and stress for me. It really is what it is. Um, and when I was diagnosed with my cancer, um, I I realized that it was really time for me to get in touch with a God of my own understanding, not the understanding of what I was told to believe who God was. And with that, especially when I was younger, I got so many mixed messages. It was really hard for me to even believe what I was told. Um, and when we are being supported by a God of our own understanding, where love is so abundant and we are so connected, it allows us to live without fear of the future. It allows us to stay really present. And when I was going through my cancer journey, that allowed me to be present in the day I was in, not worrying about the future, because we don't really know what the future is going to bring. And if I spent all that time worrying and having the stress and anxiety, not giving it over to a power higher than myself, I would have missed the days that were there. And I didn't know if death was knocking on my door. I didn't know if I was going to live or die. So I really think, especially in these times with the pandemic, it's just um, it's a support that why wouldn't you want to have it, right? Why wouldn't you? And I know that my faith is bigger than religion. I know my faith is bigger than I am, and there's so much more I don't know that I can sit back and relax into.
Yeah, I love what you said. I completely agree with you. And these mixed messages we get along the way, it confuses us. And I believe, and I don't know if it happened to you the same, it happened to me that what I started doing was kind of like taking take like a distance from the religion. I was born Catholic, and I really enjoy going to mass when I was younger, but it came a time that I couldn't anymore. I couldn't. I just when I listened to the priest, I thought completely different in a different way. In a lot of you what you were saying about that God is love, and I hate up to today when they relate a God, our God, or the God that we each believe to be true, whatever it is, and it's related to punishment, to darkness, to a struggle. I don't like that because I don't agree with that. I truly believe, as the way you describe it, that the relationship it's and the God that I believe in, it's love, and it helps me be in the present moment because I'm connected to that to it to I don't want to say it's a man or a woman because it's an energy.
And I use the word God because for me that's what works. But many people say the universe or spirit or source. And I think whatever that word is that works for you is what's important. Um, and speaking to what you learned when you were younger, growing up Catholic, for those of us that maybe got mixed messages when we were growing up, and or heard things that made us feel less than or bad, I think the important thing to realize here is even if you've put God on a shelf, you're still being impacted by those things that you were told long ago. And I think for a lot of people, religion has brought up a lot of shame in their lives. And when we're feeling like we are coming from shame or we're being judged, um, I don't think we can step out and be who God created us to be and to live. Think of um, how freeing it can be to have a God of your own understanding, to go back through those beliefs and say, this I got and this I don't, this works for me and this doesn't, and knowing that God loves you regardless, right? And instead of having those things you learned back when you were a child still running in the back of your head, dictating the choices you make. Because here's a very interesting fact: the average adult lives 95% of their day from their subconscious mind. And that's where all of those beliefs are living. And so that means we're making our choices and our decisions about life and what we're doing and who we think we are through that subconscious filter. And getting really present to this is what I agree with, and these are the principles I believe in, and this is what I can live by, is what gives us the support that makes us feel like we can surrender to a higher power that has our backs, that loves us abundantly, that loves us and wants what's best for us.
Exactly, exactly. No, I completely agree with you. And it's very hard when you have these beliefs um, for such a long time,
Yeah,
because
it really
they
is.
are a normal part of your life. And I
Mm-hmm.
completely agree with you. I was talking the other day with a friend of mine that's a psychologist, but she works mainly with teenagers. And she
Mm-hmm.
was saying that the shame and that the religious part was so in depth and in teenagers that that was like the confusing part and the things that she had to work with them a lot because of
Mm-hmm.
all these religious ideas that had either mixed messages or were incongruent, like that's another thing I don't like when people are hypocrite, that they say one thing and they do another, and that you
Right.
see in my case with Catholic Church. I've seen a lot of that throughout my life, so that part for me, it's like it has been very difficult to handle. And up
Yes.
to today, I cannot handle that when people are being too extreme about religion, because I
Mm-hmm.
don't agree with that. And besides the fact, if they're being congruent and what they are saying, they're leaving it, it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
But if you
Mm-hmm.
know they're not, I I can't have a discussion with those people, because for me, it's like you're a hypocrite.
Right. Right. Another thing I do with my clients is I have them awaken to their divine essence of who God created them to be, and getting really present to that. And when they're present to that, then they are able to have more self love and a bolder self expression, and really be radiant in knowing that the creator of this universe, of this fabulous world we live in, with all of the amazing trees and flowers and animals, the person or entity, however you want to say it, that created all of this loves us so much, loves us unconditionally. And when we're stressed out and we are worried and we can't sleep at 3 o'clock in the morning because we have these things on our mind, being able to go into a prayer or a meditation and ask that these things be taken care of for you, handing it over to your higher power, and then not having to worry about it. Knowing that you have that abundance love allows you to surrender and get to that place. And particularly for people who are owners of companies, CEOs that are entrepreneurs, there's a lot, as an entrepreneur myself, there's a lot we have to deal with. And going it alone is not fun.
And it's not. You need to to have this closeness to God or whatever you believe in, and you need a
Yes.
community of people that are going through the same things you are.
Yes, yes. And in that community and in that surrendering, we have the support to heal those pieces of us that are stopping us from being the as magnificent, I like to say, as we can be, and really live our spiritual soul out loud, and having more love and compassion for others too, knowing that they are loved as abundantly as we are.
Hmm. And
Less
each of us
judgment.
is magnificent in their
Yes,
own way, and that's what's amazing.
yes,
Yeah, when
yes.
you
We are
understand that, it's great, like how the relationship changes with yourself and with the others.
absolutely, yes. It starts with us, right? It starts with us. And then when we know that love and we know we're loved, we can love ourselves. And then it's easier for us. We want to go out and share that and shine that love for others.
Exactly, exactly. And I
Hmm.
want to share with you, we have audience from different places in the world. One of them
Hmm.
is Rihan Alawala. He's one of my mentors. He's in Pakistan. So it's great to have him here. He has like 10,000 followers. So if people
Huh?
are watching and they're very religious in that part of the world, so they're going to relate to how important it is, your relationship with God. So it's great to have somebody from Pakistan and such a great
Yeah,
leader as Rihan. And then we
welcome.
have Pablo Villanueva from Puerto Rico. That's great as well. So great to have you guys here. So and we have some people from the States, but I think they haven't written yet. So if you
Okay.
want to share where you're watching, please do so. And if you can tell us as well, have you been doubting your spiritual or religious beliefs? We've been starting talking about it and how important it is. Some people are atheist, you say in English, right?
Uh-huh.
Or don't believe in anything. That's fine, but we are talking today about uh, how we believe it's important when you believe in something or somebody higher than yourself, like that relationship, how important it is. So,
Right.
oh, and Amanda is here. Hi from Wisconsin. Great to have you here, Amanda.
Yes, yes. Hello, Manda. Nice to see you.
That's great. So, Bonnie, I have another question for you. Who
Uh-huh.
is this work for? Sacred leaders. Tell us, who's this work for?
Yes, this work is for people, again, like I said, struggling on their own, and feeling like they're doing their business going alone, and also for people who have perhaps put God on a shelf because they didn't agree with what they were taught, and how becoming present to that can so support you in your business and in your life. And they say how we do one thing is how we do everything. So not only in your business but in your life, and you sacred leaders, we are all leaders in our life. We are leaders in our family, we are leaders in our business, we are leaders in our careers. And so this work of really getting clear of who your God is and who you believe him to be, universe, spirit, source, and presencing that and having someone coming alongside you each and every day to help you with the stress and anxiety that comes in life. And not only that, but sourcing you intuitionally. Your intuition comes alive and you are better equipped to make decisions, because a confused mind cannot make a good decision. And when we can get clear on who we are in God's eyes, our decisions become easier.
Yes, yes, definitely. And you know, what you just said aligns perfectly to what Farouk Hanif is asking. What are you talking about? So that's mainly, our relationship with God or whatever we believe in that's higher than ourselves.
Yes.
How's our relationship? If we've been doubting at the beginning, if Farouk wasn't there, we were talking about like throughout life in some places, and I was talking about my personal case that I was raised Catholic, but I had doubts and I had mixed signals and mixed messages from people saying one thing, doing another, not being congruent. And for me it happened that I took the distance from the religion, even, but I didn't do it with God. So I started feeling a different relationship from love, because I felt that in my case, and that's my case personally, because I have
Mhm.
friends that their experience with Catholic Church is completely different. But in my
Yeah.
experience, I felt everything was incongruent, or most of the things, and they would say one thing, do another, or some parts of the Bible that for me came from love. Some priests were saying that it was a punishment, or that it was something bad, it was dark, and I didn't agree with that. So I took my distance from the church, and I was Catholic raised, but I don't commute, or I don't go to church. But I believe I have a very spiritual relationship with God, and I truly believe that, when I'm close to God, things move, like you were saying, they go like in a different pace. You're more calm, even though you stressed out. When you were saying previously, like you hand out your problems to God and ask him or her, ask it for her help, it
Hmm.
changes everything. It
Yes.
changes
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah. And just think about what is possible for you in your life, in your family, in your relationships, when you are living without the guilt and the shame, right? No guilt and no shame. And knowing that without that, anything is possible, right?
That's true.
Yes. And so really being truer, more true to yourself, being your highest and truest best self. Um, and coming from there and just being radiant and right with the God of your understanding.
Exactly. It changes everything.
I do believe that. Yes, I do believe that. And I think we all really long to be connected. I know a lot of people don't believe in the God that they have been exposed to, but everybody says, "Oh God," all the time. Like, why would they say, "Oh God," or "Oh my God," right? "Oh my God," whether they're in fear or whether they're in ecstasy, everybody says, "Oh my God, oh my God." And so I think we all have this innate wisdom about who God is. And like you said, when you're not present to it before you left the Catholic Church, it is ruling you in the back of your mind, even though you're not present to that. And so, really fleshing that out and honoring your own beliefs, I think, really supports us in such a great way.
Yeah. I think Farouk has a great question. And talking about God, connecting with it, finding a way to know the God, how you're going to do this.
Yeah, and so I think, well, there are lots of different religions, and there's lots of different reading you can do. And the Bible is a great place to get some information about God. I think there's so much wisdom in the Bible, and it's the religion that has turned people away from the Bible because of the way it has been interpreted. And so I think spending time in prayer is so important, and or meditation. And what I do is I journal. I journal to God. I ask a question and then I write the answer. And God is with us always. He's omnipresent. So you ask, you will get an answer. And there's just something about writing it down on paper and then being able to read back the answer you got, the answer that came through your soul, through the spirit. And it works every time.
I love that tip. It reminded me of the book Conversations with God,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
because that's the way he wrote the book. He was a channel for,
Yeah.
God's words of the relationship God would like with each of us. Like, we're
Mm-hmm.
together, we're friends, it's not like you're here and I'm here or whatever.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
like a very close relationship. So yeah,
Yes.
I hope this answered your question, Farouk, but I think it's a great question.
Yeah. There's another great book that I just love that is called The Lily and the Lotus. And it
Mhm.
is it's a prompt for writing. And in The Lily and the Lotus, she goes through her story and she talks about how she writes to the voice. She calls it the voice. And some people call it the spirit, but writing it down and asking the questions and then getting the answers back. So it's, I think, a great way to connect with God.
Great. From Janet Connor is the book. I'm going to put these recommendations books. Janet Connor, right? Hmm.
I I don't remember. Do you want me to look?
I already look in
Yes,
Amazon.
yes, it is. Janet Connor.
Conversation.
Yeah, yeah. She actually has two. She has the Lily and the Lotus, and then she also has Writing Down Your Soul,
Okay.
which is about activating and listening to the extraordinary voice within, which I love that.
Great. I'm writing it down so people can look for them. Yeah, Conversations with God and Lotus and the Lily. Perfect. Yeah. I don't know if people have more questions. I think what we've been talking, for those of you who started late to be here, we're talking about sacred leaders with Bonnie McVee, an American life coach and cancer survivor. So if you want to find out more about our programs and online trainings, please contact me. I'm going to put my email contact here. And I want to ask you guys, how has your life changed believing or not believing in whatever religion you're in, whatever way of seeing life you're at, and how has this evolved in your life? So let me see, we have some. Okay, tell about Jesus and your session is lagging.
What was it?
Tell about Jesus and your session is lagging. I don't understand. You do you understand
No.
what he meant?
Mm-mm.
What do you mean for we didn't understand what you're saying? People also Jesus Christ too. Um, I don't understand what you're trying to tell us, Farouk. If you can write it again or ask a question. Maybe you're asking a question and we didn't understand. It would be great for you to tell us a little bit more so we get what you want us to talk about. But thank you for asking. Um, and if you can tell us, Farouk, what's your say? Okay, people also. Oh, people also say Jesus Christ.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
commenting. Yeah, it's
Yes.
oh my God, Jesus Christ. That's true. That's true.
Yes. When I say God, I say it's to me it's Jesus, the Holy Spirit. It's three in one.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
Farouk is sharing like in conversation, just says Jesus Christ or oh my God.
yeah.
That you
Oh,
use
oh,
the
I see.
expression.
Yes. Yes, they do say that, right? Oh,
Yeah,
Jesus. Yep. There, I get it now. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I got it
Oh
too.
my God,
Thank you for explaining.
it took me a minute to get where he was going with that too, right? Like, why? I mean, that's our innate wisdom that we know that there's a God.
Exactly.
I mean, of all things to say, right?
Yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
what it means to each of us, it might be different, but at the same time, is I would, you know, to say that love is God. It doesn't matter which religion you're in, which beliefs you have, but at the end, it all summarizes to love.
Yeah. Right. I agree. Yeah. And just being present to having that love walking with you every day. It just is.
And
Who doesn't want to
seeing
live
that
in an
love,
abundance of love, right? Who doesn't want to live in an
yeah,
abundance of love?
yeah,
I mean,
no, and you, sorry, say, please.
I just think, we are all so hard on ourselves all the time. And knowing that the God of the universe loves us unconditionally, regardless of what we do. He loves us so much. And knowing you're loved that much gives you a reason to get up and do and be and heal. I think everybody longs for that connection, but they're afraid to because I think there's a lot of shame involved. And God still loves you. There's nothing you can do that God wouldn't love you.
Yeah. Yeah. No, another thing is, if you see when you're with other people and you see them as love, it changes as well.
Yes, yes, yes. Because we were all created equally, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
This is, Farouk is commenting something else. I think this is a very interesting comment. I love Jesus, but he's not God. What
That's
would
what
you say?
some people believe that, right?
Hmm.
Right? So lots of people believe Jesus walked the earth, but they don't believe he's God. And I'm not here to say I'm not preaching. I'm just here to say there's a big payoff in being connected to your higher power.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I truly believe that I see Jesus as a great master, as a great teacher, as also was Buddha and different great teachers and masters that walk the earth. And the way I see it is each of us is God, and we all are God, but it not saying it as, I'm like this arrogant saying that I'm God, like no, but each of us has is part of God, and we all are part of God, and we are all connected. So it's like we are part of such something so big that we
Yeah.
cannot even understand it.
No, I agree with you 100%. So God says that we were made in his image. We were made in his image.
Yeah. So, but it's as we were saying, if we see love and we see each person as love, then it's easier not only to connect, but really see God everywhere. Not
Mm-hmm.
only going to a church or talking to a priest or talking to somebody that it's very spiritual, but even
Mm-hmm.
yourself. And
Right.
what you were saying, I think the part of the shame and guilt that in the Christianity, different religions and beliefs that there are, guilt and shame has been a big thing in these beliefs in these parts of the world. And
Mm-hmm.
if we start working on making peace with the guilt and shame and changing our beliefs, our relationship with the God of our understanding, it's completely different from what we understood when we were growing up.
Yeah. And I think that another, just to veer off a little bit, I think another piece of it is um, when you realize that your this higher power, whatever you want to call it, loves you so much, instead of feeling like life is happening to you, you can think, you can see how life is happening for you to grow as you deal with what life brings your way, rather than
Mhm.
sitting back and being a victim to it and complaining and staying stuck in whatever that is, which I could have very easily done with my cancer, right? I could have very easily been, God, why did you do this to me? And why did I have this? And, being mad and angry. And our cells react, every single cell in our body reacts to the words we speak. And that would not have made me healthy and allowed my cells um, to
Heal.
heal myself. And instead going, oh, this is happening for me. What blessings are there here? There were many blessings along the way. There were many things that I learned about myself that I decided I didn't want to be that way anymore. And there were many things that I was able to receive that I hadn't felt worthy to receive before. Looking at it, that it was happening for me, knowing that my God loved me.
Yeah. I love what you just said, and I completely agree with you because that's the way. I mean, it, getting out of the victim mode. We're not victims.
Right.
We are the architects of our own lives. And just shifting that way of thinking about what's happening to you in different moments of your life, and how God is giving you a lot of blessings with the challenges that we need to face each day.
Mhm.
It gives a completely different perspective, and the attitude you have towards those things changes completely.
Yes, I agree. 100%. Yep.
Yeah. I think, there's another comment from Farouk. In Bible, did Jesus claim he's God? I'm not. I used to be a Catholic, and so I'm not very, like known the Bible, so I wouldn't be able to answer this. I don't know you, Bonnie. Can you answer this?
The Bible does say that Jesus is God. If you're Christian and you believe in the Bible, that's what the Bible says. That Jesus was before God and is and always will be. That's what the Bible says. Now, I'm not saying you have to believe that. I'm just saying he's right. It does say that Jesus is God. And so Like I said, I'm not here to preach. I'm not here to
No,
preach.
no,
I'm
that's not the
here,
idea.
I'm
The
here
idea
as
is
a life coach telling you how you can increase your happiness and your joy and have more support in life and live in an abundance of love.
exactly. So yeah, we're not talking about, like if the
Uh,
Bible is right or wrong.
no, no, we're not.
That's
We're
not
not going
that's not this conversation. It's not
there. No,
a it's not
not,
about this.
no, no, not
But
opening myself to that one.
yeah, but thank you, Farouk, for your
Yeah,
question.
yeah.
So I don't know, Bunny, if you want to share something else with our audience before we close up.
I am. They can visit me on both Facebook and Instagram at Salt and Pepper Coaching, and my website is the same, saltandpeppercoaching.com. And I have a free gift on there for 10 steps to thrive through transition. And of course, we're all going through a lot of transitions right now with COVID. And if anybody is interested in having a deeper conversation with me about what this means for them, I am happy to do that. And there is a link on my website where you can go ahead and get on my calendar to have a call with me.
Excellent. I just put your contact details. Uh-huh. I just put your contact details in the chat box so people can go to your website. I put your email and your phone number. So if you wanna get in touch with Bunny and go deeper in your God's understanding of life, and you wanna thrive, um, please contact her. She's amazing. So I highly recommend her. If you're going in this journey, she is the one you have to do it with. So
Thank you so much.
yeah. So Bonnie, I want to thank you. I believe this was an amazing conversation, and I want to thank also the audience for the comments and the questions and being here and listening to us. I think this topic is really well, not only interesting but very deep, and for each of us it's a total different experience, and that's what makes these conversations so rich and so full, and so it also can be very controversial as well, but that's what's interesting about it. So I want to thank you for being here with me today, and I want to thank the audience for listening. So I don't know if you have some final goodbye words for them.
Let's see. Final goodbye words. What would I want to say? Feed your soul. Get into prayer. Journal. Get to know the God of your understanding.
Thank you, Bunny. So thank you guys. Hope to see you next week. Next week is in Spanish, and we're talking about organizational leaders and stress. So have a great night and enjoy the rest of the week. Bye bye, guys.